Hey guys, welcome to next Selenium tutorial. So in this tutorial we are going to see how can we handle or work with multiple nested iframes in Selenium WebDriver, right? So we have already seen in the other video, right, how can we handle frames, normal frames. Okay, so in this video we are going to see nested frames. How can we handle it? So before moving on to programming, right, let's see how that nested frames will occur in your browser. Let's understand quickly. So whenever we hit any web application in web browser, right, so it will like browser will open first. So after that what will happen, right, so this browser will render one HTML document. So inside this, right, so this is going to be a document, right? So the first one will be like browser, right? So this will render the HTML document, right? So this is going to be a document. So what this as, right, this is a HTML document, right? This is the top level document, right? So what happens, right, this HTML document, so whenever we do, right, this the Chrome driver instantiating, so this driver instance will directly pointing to your top level document, whatever it is there. So this, let's see, so we have instantiated the driver, so this will pointing to your top level document. So this document has multiple web elements, right? So all the elements like your input tag element or radio buttons or checkboxes, multiple checkboxes will be there, or the drop downs will be there. So these like a drop down. So these are the multiple web elements that any web page has, right? So along with these elements, right, so this may have iframe as well, iframe element as well. So what happens, right, whenever it comes to iframe, this iframe itself will have one HTML document, like how this top level document has HTML document. So say for example, so this may have a HTML document, right? So let's consider this. So one element this will be having like iframe document. So this is the top level document. So this driver, whatever we have, this pointing to the top level document, right? So this can access all the web element whatever present in the top level document. But this iframe also and one complete document, like how this top level document, so this also have multiple web elements inside this document, right? So this also will have your drop down boxes, input box, radio button, check boxes, everything it will have, right? So this driver cannot see whatever available inside this frame document. So this driver can see all the elements which is present in the top level document as well as the iframe element, but it cannot see what are present inside the frame document. So for this, what we have to do, right? So we have to switch to this frame and then we can access the elements. So, right, this is the high level understanding that we have. So what happens when this iframe has more iframes inside that particular iframe document itself, right? So how it can happen, right? So this particular iframe, right, will contain multiple iframes inside this. Say for example, like this, it may have, right? So even inside this also it may have more iframes inside this, right? So these are the iframes that has, say for example, this is the one iframe element. So and then this is going to be a one more iframe element. This is going to be iframe 0, this is going to be a 1, right? So always iframe starts with 0 index, and this is the, so right. So after that what happens, right, I inside iframe 1 we'll have iframes two more iframes. This is going to be iframe 1.0, 1.1, like that we can consider. So inside this we can see, right, one more iframes are there. So like this it will keep going 1.0. So what happens, right, this is the top level iframes, only these two are top level iframes, but other iframes what are we can see, right, all are inner frames. So these are the kind of a nested iframes we can say, right? Nested elements or nested iframes we can say. So what we should do, right? So this we have to give the control to the driver to work with your any of the elements which is present inside the iframes. whatever the iframes it can be, right? So for that, what will happen, right? Selenium provides multiple methods like switch2 methods, frame methods, which is overloaded with index or name or id attributes, parent frames, and default content. These are the multiple methods that Selenium provides. So using these methods, we can handle our frame elements, whatever present inside the frames, right? So to get the clear understanding, right? So then, what is that nested frames, right? So like kind of, say for example, this inside one document, one iframe will be there. So inside this iframe, we can see multiple iframes. So it keep growing like this, right? So this is the main document, and this is the iframe 1, this is iframe 2, this is iframe 3, this is 4, right? So these are the like one by one, inside one iframe, one more is there, and inside that one more is there, like that it keeps growing. This is called inner iframes, right? So this is, we can say like uh nested iframes. It is keep on nesting, right, one by one. So that's where we can call this as a nested iframes, right? So let's see how can we handle these nested iframes, and how can we access and do some user interactions inside what inside iframes that elements present, right? Let us take an example, this tools QA. So you can see over here, right? So parent frame and the child frame will be there, right? So before to that, guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. So I keep on posting Selenium and Java related tutorials on this. So I already posted iframe related video, so which explains complete iframe what exactly it is, right? Yeah. So let's move on to programming. So let's inspect this, how it goes. Right. So this is the main document in any web element that browser renders the web application. So inside that, you can see, right, the one iframe will be there. So inside iframe, you can see document. So again, this starts from HTML, like how the main document starts, right? If we expand this, you can see one more iframe is there. This is also a document. This also starts with HTML. So initially, whenever we do driver controller, right, that initially pointing to this HTML document, right? This will not pointing to your document which is present inside the iframe, right? So to point out this, right, we have to give the control over to this particular HTML document, right? Let us see how can we handle this. So I have given the URL nested frames, right? So what we should do first, right, we have to switch to, so this is the driver right now pointing to your top level document. Right now it is pointing here, this document. So now what we should do, right, so we should give the control over to this particular iframe. So for that, what we have to do, we have to use switch to method dot frame, right? So we have to switch to frame. So what is the frame you want to switch to? So here we can give index based, or you can give attribute based like id or name, right? So here this frame has id as a frame 1. Let us copy this and we can give it over here. Now what happens, the driver has given taken the control to that this particular iframe, first iframe, right? This is the parent iframe, we can say. And then what we have to do, right, we have to navigate to your another inner nested iframe. So for that also, what we should do, right, so we have to navigate to that particular iframe. So for that also, we have to use the same, right? So we can say over here, right, we can see index also we can give, right? So otherwise, what we can do, right, we can give it in the same line as well. This works also in the same similar way, right? There is no difference. So we can give either in a two lines, or you can give the same line as well. Both works fine, right? So what this will do, right, first it will switch to your frame 1. So after that, it will switch again to the frame which is present inside the parent frame. So this is the child frame, this is the parent frame. Now we have given the control to your child frame, that is the nested frame, right? So what we can do inside this, right, we let us take some example, and let's take this child iframe text, right? So to get the display text, we have to use find element by what we can do, tag name. So this has only one element, so we can directly take tag name, right? What is that tag name is t. So to get the visible text we have to use get text. So this will return the display text. So let us save it into string display text. Let us print this. This is going to be a display text. So now what we have done, so initially driver has a control with the default document, and then what we have done, we have given the switching back to your iframe, that is the parent iframe. Again we have switching back to nested iframe, right? So that is the child iframe which we can see. So after that what we have done, we are trying to get the display text and then we are printing it, right? So let's close that. After that, driver dot close, right? Let's try running it. Hope it goes well. So it is launching the URL. It is waiting and it has to search and it is closed, right? So we can see, right, it is switching to nested frame and then it is taking the text whatever we have taken, that is a child frame, right? That is from, this is the child iframe, it is printed. So whatever we have done is the right one. So like this we have to switch to your nested frames. Now the question comes like, so how can we navigate back to our parent frame or the default content, right? So to do so, right, so Selenium provides one more method, right? So that is called switch to parent frame, right? So let us switch to that. This is the method, this is the parent frame. So what this will do, right, so you can see over here the driver focused on the parent frame. So here we have two different frames, one is child iframe, parent iframe. So right now we are in the child iframe. If you are trying this parent iframe, so what this will do, right, exactly, so from child frame the driver takes the control to parent frame, right? Still it is inside the iframe but not coming out of the frames, right? So this will navigate back to your parent frame. Let's try to take something from parent frame, what exactly it does. So this parent frame does not have anything except the code which has, right? So let us take the page source, driver dot get page source. So what this will do, right, so this will give the content completely from the iframe which is parent iframe. All right, let us print this, right? So now what exactly we are doing, right? So from the main document, driver takes the control to your parent frame. From parent frame we are switching to child frame. After that from child frame we are taking the display text and printing it. So after the next step what will happen, right? So we are giving the parent frame. From the child frame it is taking the control to parent frame. So from parent frame we are taking the page source, so it has to print the complete page source of that only the iframe, that is parent iframe. Let's try running and see what will happen. It takes time to switch to your frames and taking the control and then closing that, right? So we can see over here child iframe is been displaying from this line, and this line is printing exactly that iframes content, only the iframes content. Note this, only the iframes content it is displaying, that complete page source, right? So that is coming from this html and the body parent frame, and then this iframe it is printing. You can see over here, right? So from the html to iframe of the child iframe, it is printing exactly whatever it is there, it is printing. So from this iframe, so it is taking the from HTML until the HTML closing tag. So that is complete iframe from the parent iframe it is taking, right? So now we have done all our actions from iframe. Now we have to switch back to our default document, right? So what are we have, right? This particular default document. So now we have done all the operations with iframe. Now we have to take the control back to your normal document. So for that, what a Selenium provides, it has giving the default content method. So using that, we can switch back to our default document, driver dot switch to dot default content. So what this exactly does, right? So this will do two things. One is, right, if you are inside the frame, it will take the control to your parent, the first parent element. Otherwise, if you are in the parent, the only one frame, if you are in, right, it take the control back to your normal document. These are the two different options it may do based on the situation. So select either the first frame on the page or the main document when the page contains the iframe, right? So now what we are doing, right? So now it is in the parent frame. So if you are giving default content, it takes back the control to your main document, right? That is what this will do. Right? Let us try running it and try printing something from the this document. So what we can do over here, right? So let us print the complete page source here, right? Let us take complete page source, right? This is the main document. This is main document. This is going to be a parent frame, parent iframe source, and this is going to be a child iframes text, child iframe text. These are the three different things that we have to see. Let's try running and see. It takes time because it has to switch between multiple frames, and it has to switch back to your main content. So it takes a little time. It will not do immediately. Yeah, that's done it right now. You can see over here, right? This is the child iframe. This is the child iframe text that is coming from your web page, child iframe. So this is the parent iframe source. This is the complete source of parent iframe. You can see over here the next one, right? It is completely came out of our iframes and it is printing the complete document, right? So this is the complete pages HTML document. So it is printing that, right? So let us see some of the exceptions that this particular when handling your frames, right? Some of the exceptions it may throw. So the first one will be like it will throw no such frame exception. That's the first one. So second one, right? So you might be giving the your locators exactly the way how it is displaying your browser. But what happens, right, when you are giving, if it is inside the frame and you are not switching to frame, and it will throw no such element exception. So these are the two different exceptions mainly you might be facing when you are handling with your particular frames, right? So let us give some incorrect frame over here and then see what happens, right? So here this will throw no such element exception, no such frame exception, right? Let us try running it. So the web page doesn't contain this frame 1 2, so in this line it has to throw exception, no such frame exception. So that is what this exception that it might throw. It might take some time because it is searching for this frame. right? You can see over here, right? So exception thread main. So the exception name is no such frame exception. So no frame element found by the by name or ID. That is frame 1 2, right? So it will do, right? It will take all the your iframe element which is present in your web page over here, and then it will search whatever the name you have given, right? The attributes. It will search with the attributes whether ID or name contains whatever the name you have given over here. So if the none of the iframes contains this frame 1 2 as a ID or name attribute, then this will throw your no element found, no frame element found by this name or ID, this exception, right guys? So the other one is, right, so no such element exception. So if you are not switching to your particular uh, frame and you are trying to locate that particular element, right, which is present inside the frame, so in that case what will happen, no such element exception will throw. Let us try. So this element present inside your um, child frame, but we are inside parent frame, right? So in that case what will happen, it has to throw no such element exception. Before that, let's make sure there is no paragraph element inside our parent frame. Yeah, there is no parent actually paragraph. Let us try running now. What will happen in this line? It has to throw no such element exception. So this will absolutely find that it will switch to your frame one, but inside this frame one, right? So it will not find this particular paragraph element. Right? So in that case, what will happen? So it will throw no such element exception. But this paragraph element is present in your web page, but it is present inside the child frame. But we have not switched to your child frame. That's why it is throwing no such element exception. We can see, right, exactly, no such element exception, because it didn't find unable to locate this particular element using CSS selector P, right? So these are the two different exceptions that we may face when we are handling with your frames, right? So the different methods that what we have seen over here, right? First method is switch to, and second one is frame, and third one is parent frame, and fourth one will be default content, right? So these are the four different methods that we have to use when we are going for a frame handling, right? So what are the frame? It doesn't necessary that we have to handle only the nested iframes, even normal iframes also. These are the different methods that we can use it, right? So that is it from this video, guys. If you love watching my video, please like my video. If you have any queries or you want to discuss something, just please leave it in the comment section. Before leaving this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you, guys.